Have you ever wondered why our society is breaking apart? Why have so many people become so lonely and isolated, and the overall general happiness has gone down? Despite having more, such as more money, more access to information and technology, and more comfort and convenience, people are still not as satisfied with their current lives, something that stands in direct contrast to people from the past. Even though people in the past had less material goods and conveniences than we do today, they were oftentimes much happier and more content than we are today. They certainly had lower rates of depression, anxiety, and all the other common mental illnesses we observe today, especially among younger people below the age of 30. People trusted each other more and more people had faith in their government, media, academic, and religious institutions, and their next door neighbor. But why isn't this the case anymore? Why has America become a low trust society? The short answer to these questions is something many people don't seriously consider, and it is lack of a belief in God. I've made a video in the past explaining how secularism has ruined our society, and I encourage you to watch that video to get more perspective on my view regarding this topic. The fact remains, though, lack of a belief in God and the things that come with it is quickly eroding any sort of social order and decorum that we have been accustomed to for many decades here in America. This manifests itself in many ways. One of the most obvious ones is lack of community. Before, people used to trust those around them, including their neighbors. Now, most people do not trust the ones next to them and are constantly on guard and suspicious of others. Some have said that this is just a natural consequence of what happened during the 2020 pandemic and that things would even themselves out. However, it's 2025, and not only have things not evened themselves out, but they have actually gotten worse. Just look at all the mental health markers in individuals today. There has been a significant increase in symptoms of depression, anxiety, and loneliness. And more people are becoming addicted to many things, both chemicals and behaviors. It's a far cry to say that this somehow is progress, unless you're blind or sheltered. Along with these illnesses, the common bond we all had as a society, especially the one found in the Christian faith, has quickly deteriorated. The thing that has been replacing it is unvarnished secularism and nihilism, which is oftentimes cloaked as freedom and rationality. However, this is all illusory. Freedom doesn't mean doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. True freedom requires a good level of restraint and self-control. Being a slave to your base impulses is as much freedom as living on a plantation and getting food and a place to sleep, but you can never leave the plantation. Sadly, many people fit the latter rather than the former description. What about rationality? When you look at society today, especially regarding the constant battles between liberals and conservatives, can you honestly say we have become a more rational species than we used to be? It doesn't take long to know the answer to this question. Just go to any YouTube news or commentary channel and observe how people debate. It is no longer about presenting your best case and arguing based on the merit of each argument. It's more so about who can score the best gotcha points, with little to no regard as to the substance of what the opponent is saying. Witty remarks and childish insults have become more important than being intelligent and logical, and this naturally spills over to the way people in general interact with each other. When we pulled the rug of Christianity from under the feet of our culture, we left a vacuum that will be filled with narcissistic tendencies that are the hallmark of secularist ideology. At the end of the day, we must be careful about what we put our faith in and what we want our society to look like. The fact that the majority of people chose to push Christianity to the side and preferred selfish secularism indicates one thing: most Americans are selfish. Plain and simple. We can argue about the details and philosophical and scientific meanings of selfishness, but the fundamental reality still remains the same. Splitting hairs isn't going to make this reality vanish into thin air. It's just going to excuse it instead of getting us to take accountability for our bad choices. And this is one bad choice we made as a society that will cost us for generations to come. The only way out of this is to adopt Christianity as the belief system and follow it to the T. No amount of rationality and scientific reasoning will save us from the worst enemy we have, ourselves. We can grow in our scientific and technological advancements, but if we are moral failures, then we are not any different from savages. In fact, given our intellectual capacity, we would be even worse. So that's it for this video. If you like this content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share to get notified about more videos like this one. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.